version by anywhere. 6 days into that should be the greatest months of my life, and it's turned into a nightmare. I don't even know how to read this. I guess someone will find it eventually, maybe 100 years from now. For the record, I didn't damn Sol 6. Certainly, the rest of the group that I did, and I can't blame them. Maybe there'll be a day of a national mourning for me, and my Wikipedia page will say, Mark Watney is the only human being to have died on Mars. And it'll be right probably, because I'll surely die here, just not on Sol 6 than everyone thinks I did. Let's see, where do I begin? The AIRS program. Mankind reaching out to Mars to send people to another planet where the very first then and expand the horizon of humanity, blah blah blah. The Earth's first group did their thing and came back heroes. They got the parades and fame and love of the world. Ours too did the same thing in a different location on Mars. They got a firm handshake and a hot cup of coffee when they got home. AIRS 3. Well, that was my mission. Okay, not mine per se. Commander Lewis was in charge. I was just one of her crew. Well, actually, I was the very lowest ranked member of the crew. I would only be in command of the mission if I were the only remaining person. And what do you know? I'm in command. I wonder if this luck will be recovered because the rest of the crew died of old age. I presume they got back to Earth all right. Guys, if you're reading this, it wasn't your fault. You did what you had to do. In your position, I would have done the same thing. I don't blame you, and I'm glad you survived. I guess I should explain how marked mission work for any layman who may be reading this. We got to Earth orbit the normal way, through an ordinary ship to Hermes. All the AIRS mission use Hermes to get to and from Mars. It's really big and costs a lot, so NASA built only one. Once we got to Hermes, 4 additional main missions brought us fuel and supplies while we were prepared for our trip. Once everything was a go, we set out for Mars, but not very fast. Gone are the days of heavy chemical fuel burns and trans-Mars injection orbit. Hermes is powered by ion engines. They throw argon out of the back of the ship really fast to get a tiny amount of acceleration. The thing is, it doesn't take much reaction mass, so a little argon and a nuclear reaction to other things let us accelerate constantly the whole way there. You'd be amazed at how fast you can get going with a tiny acceleration over a long time. I could regale you with the tales of how we had great fun on the trip, but I won't. I don't feel like reliving it right now. Suffice it to say, we got to Mars 124 days later without strangling each other. From there, we took the MDV Mars Descent Vehicle to the surface. The MDV is basically a big can with some light thrusters and parachutes attached. Its sole purpose is to get 6 humans from Mars orbit to the first without killing any of them. And now, we come to real tricks of Mars exploration, having all our show there in advance. A total of 4 and main mission deposit everything we need for surface operation. They tried their best to land all the supply vessels in the same general area and did a reasonably good job. Supplies aren't nearly as fragile as human and can hit the ground really hard, but they tend to bounce around a lot. Naturally, they didn't send us to Mars until they had confirmed that all the supplies had made it to the surface and the containers weren't reached. Start to finish, including the supply mission, a Mars mission takes about 3 years. In fact, there are RS-3 supplies en route to Mars while the RS-2 crew on their way home. The most important piece of the advanced supplies, of course, was the MAV, the Mars Ascent Vehicle. That was how we would get back to Hermes after surface operations were complete. The MAV was soft-landed as opposed to the bell and bones fast that our supplies had. Of course, in constant communication with Houston, and if it had been any problems with it, we would have passed by Mars and gone home without ever landing. The MAV is pretty cool. Turns out, the net seat of chemical reaction with the Martian atmosphere, for every kilogram of hydrogen you bring to Mars, you can make 13 kilograms of fuel. It's a slow process, though. It takes 24 months to fill the tank. That's why they sent it long before we got here. You can imagine how disappointed I was when I discovered that Emily was gone. It was a ridiculous sequence of events that led me to almost dying, and even more ridiculous sequence that led me to survive. The mission is designed to handle such storm gusts up to 115 km per hour. So Houston got understandably nervous and he got swept with 175 km per hour winds. We all got in our flight spacesuits and huddled in the middle of the hub just in case we lost pressure. But the hub wasn't the problem. The MIV is a spaceship. It has a lot of delicate parts. It can put up with storms with certain extent, but it can't just get sandblasted forever. After an hour and a half of sustained wind, NASA gave the order to abort. Nobody wanted to stop a warm-up mission after only 6 days, but if the MIV took any more punishment, we'd all have gotten stranded down there. We had to go out in the storm to get from the hub to the MIV. That was going to be risky, but what justice did we have? Everyone made it, by me. Our main communication dish, which relays signals from the hub to Hermes, acted like a parachute, getting down from its foundation and carried with the torrent. Along the way, it crashed through the reception antenna array. Then one of those long thin antennas slammed into the first. It tore through my suit like a bar through butter, and I felt the worst pain in my life as it ripped on my side. I visually remember having the wind pulled of me, really, and my ears popping painfully as the pressure out my seat escaped. The last thing I remember was seeing Johansson hopelessly reaching out toward me.